Yeah, another draft physics video presentation. I don't know how much physics we'll get to, but all of this stuff is context and it is important. So Google's evil. Google's a troll, frankly. Google's just trolling the internet. It's a marketing company just trying to manipulate everybody and suck money out of the system. That's all it is, nothing else. It's just the worst kind of corporate pile of shit. It does 1%, PR. 1% of its energy is spent on, let's see if we can fool the morons. And the rest of it is all malicious, hard, just absolutely malicious shit. How can we manipulate people to extract money from their pockets? How can we take energy out of the system to feed the Google empire? How can we protect our crap by, doing exactly what Microsoft did, which is buy up anything that looks like competition? It's guilty of all the corporate shenanigans, the tax evasion, all the bullshit. It's just a despicable hunk of shit. And you can see it in the fact that they took away every policy that had anything to do with openness. So anything that had to do with us, the users, having any vision, to more information, they took away. And they've just slowly but surely ruined YouTube in the sense that it's nothing to do with this YouTube part anymore. Even simple things like categorizing videos, so you could do a rational search. It used to be that videos were, you had to categorize what your video was doing. Were you talking shit, or, whether it's science, it's philosophy, subjects, all that kind of stuff. Nah, they got rid of that. Why? Because it's rational. Because intelligent people would like to discriminate, and they didn't want any of that. They want it sloppy and messy, so there's lots of false clicks. It's lots of people going to videos they don't intend to go to. The false messages, the false labels, the clickbait philosophy took over. Create your icon crap, so get into some sort of competition of making flashy icons to sell to overstate what your video is. All the lies and the shenanigans. And right now they could clearly easily give us this little bit of information, which is when we see a comment, they could tell us how many subscribers the person has and how old the account is. They could put those two little numbers right there, and that would tell people a lot about what kind of person is commenting and what kind of habits they have. Clearly, they could also make it possible for you just to go to their channel and see what other comments they've posted. You used to be able to do that. Why would you take away that functionality? The only reason can be is to make us blind, to make us not know what's going on, to make us not see the shenanigans and the cheating. That's no reason. There's no other reason. Malicious purposes. So let's go to some of the shenanigans and the bullshit. So Baldy Catz has done his, again, inevitably he would have had to make some video. And the point I made was, clearly he's going to have to sit there and tell everybody I'm somehow a bad person. And so he's done that, And so why shouldn't I have the right to defend myself by posting exactly what he said and what he did? So I'm going to post the emails now, the email chain, in a message on these videos, because he's just a liar, about what took place. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's pretty simple, and it's also pretty simple what he's doing, which is evil, in the sense that he thinks he can discriminate against me because I'm some sort of bad person. I represent something evil and bad. And the argument is so insanely stupid and such a fanatical interpretation of reality. I mean, this is a fanatic. This is like a Christian. So he'll talk to a Christian who believes Jews murdered Jesus and they're all going to hell. He'll talk to that person. They're not going to the gas chambers. They're going to eternal damnation. They're going to be tortured forever. That doesn't bother him. Being tortured forever doesn't bother him. But denying the existence of whatever, Zyklon B, I don't know why he didn't include that, gas chambers, That's a crime that can never be forgiven. It can't be accepted. So anyway, I can't, I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, this logic is ludicrously stupid. And to do this, again, he's the one using the Holocaust. So he starts off by saying hi to his subscribers who outed me, right? Because over 7 years ago, so I'll also leave a link to this video, which was made by Gray Taicho, and 7 years ago, and it's the video he's made this video out of is even older than that. Clearly, no, I don't have any Holocaust agenda. I'm not trying to rewrite any history or do any of that shit. I'm not financing it. I'm not promoting it. I'm not doing anything but defending my own reasoning skills. And that's all I'm doing. And it's just disgusting that you get labeled evil for doing. You're just not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to defend your own logic skills. Just disgusting. So I'll link to that video also. And again, let's point out, as a shot against Google, the video, this is the chain of the emails. It's still up. Okay, the copy of the exact same video YouTube gave me strikes for is still up on another channel. So what's the standards? Oh, that's right. It's who complains, and that's all the standard is. Okay, it's just horseshit. This isn't any kind of rational system, fair cop system. It's a completely discriminatory. We'll treat people differently, and that's exactly what Baldy Catz is saying. I should not be allowed to do anything in this civilization. Heisenberg was actually a Nazi. I mean, actually, in the German army, and they flash his name all over the place. And does everybody ever qualify the Heisenberg principle by saying it was invented by a Nazi? I mean, a complete sympathizer with the Jewish cause, the Nazi cause. He didn't like Hitler, but he liked everything else about it. So, what the fuck? So if Heisenberg was still alive, Baldy Catz would say we should all protest and nobody should listen to a physics lecture. Let's say Heisenberg never even said anything, but just in personal conversations about how, Nazis weren't all bad. So, and we should all do that. Everybody should just protest and say, shut him up. He shouldn't be allowed to speak because, you're giving, notoriety and credit to somebody who's a horrible, awful, demonish, just can't be accepted human being. That's an unacceptable opinion. It's okay for Christians and Muslims to have all kinds of fanatically nutty beliefs, but it's not okay for anybody rational to have any beliefs you disagree with. No, sir. Alright, so this is just so insidious and so disgusting that even this conversation, again, has to be drug up again because people are using it. So let's get back to the subscribers, right? So his subscribers are these same trolls that have been harassing me for years. These are doc droppers, let's understand. And they won't just drop my docs, they'll drop my relatives if they can. And, to make it even better, I've pointed out how, my life changed. I moved into a house that somebody else lives in, and she's a girl, and they're just overtly attempting to threaten her. They're scaring a girl, okay? So they're taking the fact that they can play with my personal security, and they're having fun with it. And this other guy in this stupid club of morons here, he has a channel where he just has videos about Onision and outing him as a child, a molester or abuser or something. And he's all for this idea of let's have the trial in public. No, let's not. I'm all for you want to have a sting operation and to catch people. Great, go ahead and do that. Good idea. Let's have lots of stings to catch lots of criminals. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. But I'm really opposed to is making money off of it, okay? Doing it for a show and then, exploiting it. And now you're not just having a trial by, civil process. You're having a trial by going to a person's house, okay, and harassing them. That's what you have you're entitled not to put him on a witness stand, right? Or to put him in trial and say, we have to prove the case. No, we can actually go to his house and harass him. This is his kind of justice. That's the kind of justice system he wants. One made for eating popcorn. It's all a big fucking joke. Everything's a joke. Everything's something to exploit for money. Money, 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 money. Alright, so that's how Baldy starts his video. So this is another just hilarious little piece of crap to say, oh, look at the character of this douchebag. So they have this video. It has 24 minutes of dead silence on it. That's how it starts. So they're really technically, they're really part of the internet age.
Right, good evening everyone. I hope, beyond all hope, that you can hear me. It's not my fault. I've been making a video all day and I'm afraid that stupid does appear to be contagious. So I'm going to pass you over to Conspiracy Catz and he will explain to you why there's no debate and what we're going to do tonight.
Oh, yes. Hilarious. Okay. So, let's hear it. Good move. Wow, you guys really know what you're doing. Yep, you're right on the technical edge. You're way out there. So, who knows what that was?
Well, we may as well.
So maybe it's a good thing I didn't have the debate, right? Because it somebody'd have to be a lip reader to hear any of it. Dum 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 dum.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Who?
Sick in the side chat as well.
Yeah, so this is, I didn't know it was this stupid. So he said a whole bunch of crap. Who knows what he said, right? Because nobody can hear it. Yeah. So, good move, fellas.
Hang on a sec, everyone.
And these are the people that are going to tell. We're so competent. We know what we're doing. We know what the reality is. We know everything. We're so goddamn pure that we can go out there and tell people, yeah, don't hire that guy. He's evil. Don't sell my house. He's evil. Right? Why don't we just put little evil stars on people? Yeah, and then we can put them in a camp. Camp evil.
Alright, I know why. 2 seconds. Right, 2 seconds. Oh, for the love of...
What? Bullshit, slander, persecution. For the love of persecution, let us persecute the non-believer.
Just talk amongst yourselves, everyone. We will...
We're religious fanatics in every way. See, they're just demonstrating it, right? Because we know that this is the fanatics. This is how fanatics behave. We must punish you because you have an opinion that's different than ours.
Figure it out eventually. We should be ready to start around our usual finishing time. So, right, say something now, Catz, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Boom. Ah, yes. The audio meter bounced. Speak away.
So, pathetic or what? Like they couldn't fix this? They couldn't have edited this video by now?
So does that means we're here? Oh, and I was saying big shout out to Alan B in the chat, not seen me for a while, and Sir Sick. Yeah, I was just saying that like I was a massive fan of Sir Sick's channel long before I started Conspiracy Catz, long before I even dreamed of having my own YouTube channel. I was a Sir Sick fan, so it's brilliant.
A Sir Sick fan. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you can't understand the English speak.
See him in the chat, big fan. I don't think he lives too far from me either. Anyway, what were we saying? I'm gonna have to do the same joke again now. Okay?
Yeah. I'll laugh on cue. So fire away.
Pretend. Like, yeah. So, would you like me to start from the beginning, Creaky?
Yeah, start from the beginning, Mr. Catz, and I will laugh on cue.
On cue. Okay, fine. Laugh on cue.
Okay. Well, from the beginning, a long time ago, my mummy and daddy were very much in love, and then
Yeah, they're obviously morons who, raised a fucking asshole. Okay, I guess they didn't teach you about ethics, and that, look, Baldy, you're going to live in a world where people have different opinions, and you can't just go around slandering and persecuting people because they don't agree with you. That's sort of Nazi-esque, I mean, were you raised to understand anything about the Holocaust at all? Did you learn anything from it at all? Nothing? Just absolutely nothing. You learned nothing.
9 months later, I was born. Have I gone back too far there, Creaky?
Yeah, no. I think you were either, too late or too early.
No, that's perfect.
Oh my word.
Sorry, I forgot I promised to laugh.
Oh, brilliant. Sorry, right, yeah, well, couple of... Oh.
So people eat this shit up. Oh, I just love this kind of shit. This is just so cool. Will you tell another funny, good joke like that?
I just want to address something. Some people are asking in the chat about the Baldy Catz.
So, some people are asking in the chat again. So, again, this is one troll with numerous accounts. It really is. Might be two, might. Slim chance, though. So one psychotic lunatic, and we're all going to have conversation based on his agenda. Thank you, YouTube.
That's video that I put up this morning. I put up a Baldy Catz video this morning, and it got, even though it was monetized to start with, it got demonetized about half.
Okay, so even though it was monetized to start with, it got demonetized. So yes. The Google algorithm. See, if you monetize a video, you're at a higher standard because the advertisers really don't want their advertisement on some goofball, stupid jackass video because it makes the advertiser look stupid, even though the advertiser already looks really stupid. But anyway, I don't even know how YouTube makes any money. Frankly, all I see is the same ad over and over and over again. And or else I get what kind of ads would you like? Stupid, retarded, moronic, idiotic, fucktarded, nonsensical, shitty. Oh, I have all those choices. Which one to choose?
Half an hour in.
They have ads now that are so offensive, in my opinion, that they make the video look bad. The spray your balls ads. I mean, why don't I can go back in time and think about women's sanitary products or whatever they freshness products. If they just called it cunt douche, pussy freshener. I mean, it's just so funny that sometimes somewhere along the line we've just decided to say fuck it and show people spraying their balls.
And I don't make a lot of videos, it's not about the money,
but it's entirely about the money. God damn it, I put the video up and I wasn't going to get no money, so I have to fix the video so I get my money. Yeah, so he couldn't just take it, he couldn't just eat it on one video. No, he had to sit there and take the video down so he can redo it and make money. The money. I need my money.
Just out of principle, I have to take it down to have it.
So, just out of principle, he says, so this is their semantics. This is their world, right? And he's going to lecture me on the Holocaust, and this asshole is going to say, just on principle, to defend, I wanted my money. I couldn't get my money unless I changed the video. Sounds like reggae now, but, what the fuck is this shit? I mean, what a liar. I mean, he couldn't just say, hey, I did the work on this video, I want to get my money. No, on principle. On principle I did it. For the sake of the unfortunates in the world.
Because I did not believe it deserved demonetizing. So,
the principle was it didn't deserve it. Maybe I don't deserve what you did to me. Maybe I don't deserve to be called some unacceptable human Okay, maybe somebody rational could figure out that, yeah, I'm not an unacceptable, horrible human being because I don't believe every single little detail of every story you've told in your life. Oh, fuck.
So if you're asking where the Baldy Catz video is, it wasn't flagged or anything like that. I took it down just for the review. So yeah.
Yes, just for the money.
We're here because we were meant to be having a debate tonight with a guy called Draft Science.
Right, and you already admitted in another shammy, stupid room with a bunch of shills or other crapheads that you're totally unprepared and can't really do this because you're just a lowly school teacher and don't have any skills. You don't know anything about the subjects you teach, so, you know, fuck, I can't answer any questions.
And it was supposed to be me debating him on the topic of
like I said, I would have debated anybody. I would have accepted a video exchange. I would have accepted so many things. I just want my questions answered. I just want the facts dealt with. Why can't any professional physics in the history of professional physics properly explain a double slit experiment? Why do they always have to cheat the truth? Why don't you explain to me why the truth always has to be cheated?
Single slit and double slit experiment. So Draft Science is a channel who has essentially created his own brand of physics.
So it's a brand of physics, you know. No, it's not like every other person in physics who ever, changes anything or does anything. Yeah, they see something wrong with the current paradigm or whatever, and they decide to go back a few steps and say, well, maybe somebody made a mistake and I can fix that. No, that's not how you're going to describe it. It's just some sort of I tore the label off the can of coffee and put my label on it.
People do debunking videos on people like Brian Cox, Jim Al-Khalili.
So he has a list of names that aren't even accurate, right? I mean, I haven't touched Brian Cox as far as I know. I might have played one video and one video of Akaku. There's nothing, Akaku doesn't do physics. He does imagine the future. Where we have 15 robotic heads and blah, 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 blah.
Professor Michio Kaku, Richard Feynman, etc. He will do.
Yes, do I do it unsuccessfully? I mean, he doesn't even qualify the critique. He's critiquing, just like you critique the flaws in flat Earth philosophy and science. I'm just critiquing the flaws in their assessment of why we all must believe photons are waves. I'm pointing out how the evidence sucks.
Sort of like the scientific greats who debunk Einstein, Newton, whatever.
Debunking Einstein is debunking the evidence that you say proves Einstein. The evidence sucks. You'll never admit it. So this is what this is all about, really. It's just about people who like religious fanatics, they will not admit when their evidence sucks, and they really don't have a right to tell the rest of the world you have to believe because your evidence sucks. And that's really what this whole thing is about, is you're an intolerant douche.
And he challenged me and he pestered me for months and months and months, or at least weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yes, and weeks and weeks and weeks. That is a total of 4 emails. Okay, no. 1 email and 3 messages on his videos. Yeah, okay, 3. I started 3 conversations. One conversation really just leaked from one video of his onto my video. He leaked it. Like, the conversation was on a thread on his video, and then all of a sudden he decided to comment on my video. And so it just moved the thread. So there's really just 2 comments. So I made 2 requests for an opportunity to interrogate conventional physics, the standard model. That's what I requested. So it's that simple. I requested an opportunity to do what he does to flat earthers to him, to put him on the spot and tell him, well, here's evidence debunking your nonsense.
To have a debate with him on the double slit experiment because he has an alternative view and whatever. But and I provided that to you 2 weeks ago. Okay, I gave you a rundown of my argument in as simplest form as I could.
with more information if you wanted it in this form of a video explaining those points, and you didn't rebut a single one of them. You didn't do anything. You didn't touch it.
Some of you, and I can see you in the chat now, I'm not going to name anybody, but some...
So he's not going to name the troll. Why don't you name the trolls? Okay, so these are, again, this is a guy who has been, just created hundreds of accounts to harass me for the last 7 years. Okay, that's it. And a big part of the harassment is, posting pictures of the house I live in, posting my name and address in all kinds of different places to try to connect them together. Just all kinds of just horrible tactics. I mean, just deplorable that anybody on YouTube should find offensive. And that's the person you're getting your guidance from. You're so grateful that he made you aware that 10 years ago I made a video defending my own opinion. And that's just an outrageous thing to do.
Some of you in the chat tip me off to some particular... And we've got to be careful how we phrase this.
Why do you have to be fucking careful? You're saying it's a reason to sanction me. I should be sanctioned. Why do you have to be careful? You're making an excuse for breaking a contract, for saying I don't agree to what I agreed to. You're saying it's that bad. And you're saying you have to be careful how you call me, whatever this horrible thing is. You're saying I earned it. I deserve it. Why can't you just say it? You piece of shit. What a fucking bullshit manipulation. Oh, let's be careful what I say. I already convicted him. I already put him in prison. Let's be careful about what crime we decide he was guilty of. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to be careful now. You already convicted me of the murder. You can just call me a murderer. Amazing horseshit.
Disagree, Creaky?
Oh, sorry, I zoned out then.
Yeah, so the whole thing was so interesting I fell asleep. So it's the guy, in the conversation can't fucking figure out what the fuck he's getting to.
I'm going to see effect I have on people.
No, sorry, I was watching the side chat. Sorry. Did you ask me a question?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, we've got to be...
So, yeah, the chat is just so helpful, Yay, Quantum. I managed to see it was good. Drool, drool, drivel, drivel. It's so exciting. YouTube chat.
Careful how we phrase his belief.
Yeah, phrase his crime against humanity. Yeah, he doesn't think you have good evidence, so he doesn't believe it because the evidence sucks. The fact is, the evidence for, whatever, millions of people being gassed to death by Zyklon B, the evidence sucks. It just does. I'm sorry. There's no physical evidence at all. When I was a kid, know what they convinced you with? Like they're making the argument for the Holocaust, right? And Jews being killed in gas chambers. And they're starting to make that argument probably by the 9th grade or 8th grade or something. 6th grade, it might have been. No, it was the 9th grade. And what do they have in the history book as the evidence? A shower head. That was it. That was the best. They said, let's make the most convincing argument we can make. Here's the evidence. A shower head. Because the theory was Jews were really stupid, and you could fool them with fake shower heads. If you made the gas jets like shower heads, they wouldn't notice the ventilator over there and all the other things, and they'd just think they were taking a shower or something. And they'd get right underneath the shower head or something. It was an insipidly silly explanation. Fake shower heads. It's just too stupid. You're herding people into a room, asking them to strip down, and you need fake shower heads to gas them. I mean, that was how stupid it was. You can't put a big vent on the side of the wall. You can't do fake shower heads. I mean,
Do you think without turning it into an accusation? How are we going to phrase this?
Well,
So again, so how are we going to phrase this? He already convicted me of the crime. I've committed this horrible crime against humanity, worse than Heisenberg, worse than all the Christian hates, all the Muslim haters. I should be discriminated against. You can't talk to me. I can't be part of a debate. I have to be censured. I have to be put into a slum. I'm such an evil fuck. I mean, this makes everything so ludicrous, right? What has any meaning in this civilization if intelligent people can have this big a bullshit conversation? I mean, just an absolute horseshit conversation. He obviously wanted some way to weasel out, and he used the Holocaust, right? This sacredly horrible event in human history, and he's using it as an excuse to bail out of a conversation he wasn't prepared to have. And so instead of saying, I'm just not prepared to answer the questions, I have a headache, you know, he couldn't come up with some better way to weasel out than to abuse this, you know, horrible event in human history.
based on the fact that I've been sent a video confirming it,
Okay, confirming what? So again, we're not going to show the evidence in this. We've convicted him. Trust me, I have evidence. So he's implying he has some sort of evidence. I've lived my life, so I kind of know what videos I've made. So I was there. I was a witness. So this is more just false testimony, right? Because that's what it's all about, is what people say. And if they say something happened, we must believe it happened. So because he says it happened, we must believe it happened. Their video proves he is an aggressive defier of you know, everything sacred in the world, because he's denying that millions of Jews were killed in the Holocaust in gas chambers.
really don't think we need to, but it's your channel as well as mine, so if you would rather not call him what he is, I'm happy to.
So now, didn't they just call me it? Didn't they just do it? I mean, they've convicted me of the crime. They've persecuted me because of it. They've changed my rights, my access, my everything. They've encouraged other people to do the same. I'm a hateable, horrible person based on innuendo. Period. And again, if some person who's Jewish or something or whatever, I mean, please read what I wrote. Please watch the Grey Tao Cho video and then say, I'm a bad person. Now you could say I'm ignorant and I'm deluded, but am I a bad person? Am I not understanding the Holocaust? Am I not using the word Holocaust appropriately when I call it a Holocaust? So yet this thing I'm denying, I call the Holocaust, right? I don't say the Holocaust didn't happen. I never said anything like that. So I'm guilty based on this, again, semantics. Because I won't say the Jews were killed in gas chambers, therefore I don't believe the Jews were killed. I don't believe it was horrible. I don't believe it was for bigotry. I don't believe any of the other stuff. So they're forcing me. They're giving me no choice, right? They're saying you can't be a German citizen anymore, right? They're saying I'm not entitled to civilized rights. I'm a horrible child molester. They're basically doing it right here. And did they provide any evidence? No. Because they can't. Because if you play what I said in context, you're fucked. But you're not going to be able to make a rational argument that I am at all sympathetic with the Nazi agenda or at all unsympathetic for the plight of the Jews.
Go along with you.
Well, I will link a video in the chat later on, but essentially I was saying...
He didn't do this. So he was sent a video. He didn't say anything in the email about being sent a video, did he? No. So this is all more part of his lies, right? So he lied in the email. He didn't tell me he was sent a video. And again, did I say anything in the video different than I've said in the conversation, right? I mean, I'm just saying that you're a Holocaust denier if you don't accept gas chambers. So that's the key thing. All the rest of it is, oh, who cares? Just the gas chambers is the important thing. And let's understand the context. This is all when Israel was being created, all right? And obviously there was a huge problem with America financing the creation of a religious genetic state. Okay, we're basically going to create a little. We're going to give one species of dog, our breed of dog, their own little colony. Okay, and we're a protected little colony. And it almost sounds like, oh man, that sounds kind of silly. America financing a religious state and a genetic state. Ooh, that doesn't look quite right. So they had to make it necessary. Like they had to make the story so horrendous, okay, that they could make a justification for creating a sanctuary. Yeah.
And a number of you who are in the chat now sent me some messages saying that he may hold a set of particular beliefs which would damage the reputation of this channel if you allowed it.
Right. So the set of beliefs is I like to see evidence before I believe in something, and I haven't seen any real convincing evidence. I saw a shower head. Yes, they rebuilt some gas chambers at the concentration camps, but I mean they're rebuilt things. They're not original. I mean, do you have any physical evidence? Aerial photos, anything really? And the fact is, you don't.
Come on. And when I approached him about that in private through email.
So again, in private, like this makes some sort of difference. Well, frankly, as I've constantly told, I don't give a shit about any of that kind of crap. Frankly, what should be private is your name and your address. If you'd like to keep them, kind of secure, those things should be secure. Okay, but it doesn't seem like the rest of the world thinks so.
Just to keep it out of the public eye. He didn't.
Yeah, so he can make a personal accusation to me that I find grotesquely offensive. I said it in the email. I have no interest in this subject. You have no right to interrogate me on my opinions. It's not my agenda. And yet he thinks he has a right to badger me. To badger me into what? And again, we saw what he badgered me into. I can accept every part of the Holocaust, and because I don't accept gas chambers, that's it. Okay, that's the Holocaust for him. For him, the Holocaust is gas chambers. It's not about killing people. It's not about abusing people. It's not about torturing people. It's not about starving people to death. It's not about working people to death. No, it's about fucking gas chambers.
Deny those allegations whatsoever and became quite aggressive.
So I didn't deny them whatsoever except to overtly deny them. Okay, so again, let's go back. I overtly denied them in the sense that, as stated, I agree, millions of innocent Jews died in bigotry camps. I said that's all I honestly can say. And so, what else am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to lie to you. Oh, and tell you I believe something I don't believe just because you believe it. I mean, if you don't say you agree that millions of Jews were targeted and murdered, I don't even know what that means. Targeted and murdered? Targeted? Well, duh. So obviously I believe they were targeted. I mean, I overtly stated it. And so murdered in gas chambers. So again, that's all it's about is gas chambers. That's it. All of this is about that. That's what makes me evil, because I haven't seen enough evidence to be convinced there were any such thing. And all there are is a lot of stories, right? And we know that, look, frankly, this is the facts they don't want to go through. But I mean, Jews have pointed their finger at about 17,000 different people and said, he's Ivan the Terrible. I mean, they've done it in court even, pointed their finger and said that. And they were wrong, obviously. A lot of them. And so, but that's what they say I have to believe. I have to believe every single story told by every single survivor. And if I don't, I am just a horrible person. And I must be punished. I must be sanctioned. I must be put into the ghetto. And I must have the label placed on me. Shit.
His responses.
So again, let's understand, I had no interest in bringing this subject up, no interest in sitting there having a conversation about how rational it is to think that the Nazis weren't smart enough to use carbon monoxide instead of Zyklon B. I don't have any interest in bringing up any of these logical points. I don't have any interest in convincing you otherwise. You want to believe millions of people died in gas chambers by Hitler's orders? Fine, go ahead and believe it. I'm just saying, I'm just pointing out that no, I don't believe that. The order as the final solution meeting demonstrates, the one piece of, they have some nice documentation. They have some documents that survived, and the document clearly states. Why would they have to change their policy on the Jew problem, right? The Jew problem was, in the document. Why would they have to change their policy if their policy already was kill them in gas chambers? I mean, why would they have to change their policy to, well, if you can't work them to death and you can't starve them to death, then, have a happy accident, because we don't want any surviving Jews to take over the world, because they'll be super strong Jews. They even made that argument. They'll be genetically stronger, the ones that survive, so you really don't want them to survive. Why would they make that statement if they were already shoving them in ovens and doing all this shit? If that was what their policy already was, why would they change it to something less severe? That doesn't make any sense, does it to you? Does that make sense to you? Well, it didn't make any sense to me.
And ultimately, the beliefs that he may or may not have.
So again, beliefs I may or may not have. I explicitly stated, okay? I mean, so this is just such a lie to say that I left some ambiguity about my opinion. That I left it uncertain. So that's one statement I made, okay, that explicitly, and then I state here at the end. As stated, I agree, millions of innocent Jews died in evil bigotry camps. That is all I can honestly say. I'm not that I'm sure is true. If you bail out, okay, so that's, and then I said it again, down at the bottom here. I have no agenda to argue Holocaust history. And it's clear I have no such agenda. It's been nearly a decade since I had a video on the subject, besides the ones related to the fact that I was in court suing somebody for putting me in a Nazi uniform, for photoshopping me as a Nazi, because I find it grotesquely offensive. Okay, neither have I ever defended any kind of anti-Semitism. So this statement is not good enough for him. It's not a clear statement. It doesn't mean anything. He just says, oh, he vaguely made some sort of counter-argument in some vague way. And then I say, you continue to believe you have a right to badger me on this subject. And now, let's understand, by the time I said this, he had already decided to bail out of the debate. So he'd already posted on his Twitter that the debate was off. He had already decided. I mean, and he had to ask me what a Jew bigot was, by the way. Couldn't figure that one out all on his little own.
He wasn't able to deny all the...
So there we go. He wasn't able to deny. Deny what? That I don't believe the majority of Jews died in gas chambers. That the vast majority died of attrition. Of just being killed to death. Slowly, brutally, horribly. Disease. We know it was rampant. Anne Frank died of typhus. She didn't die in a gas chamber.
Reasons he's not allowed on this channel.
Right, okay, so that's it. So we know what the standard is now. So how should I fight back, so to speak? Should I blame all the Jews? I mean, or should I blame only bald people? I mean, how should I fight back? Anybody who's a fanatic believer in the Holocaust, that is, they think we have a right to force people to believe gas chambers existed. We have a right to force them. So I should fight back against them by saying, I'm going to ask this question and find out what people believe. And if they believe that, they believe they have a right to force people to believe in gas chambers, I should discriminate against them. And I should persecute them and insult them, and I should call them a name. Reason denier, fanatic, a fanatic oppressor, a tyrant, Holocaust tyrantism.
I wouldn't knowingly have somebody who perhaps doesn't agree. Let's just say he doesn't agree with history.
So again, it's not I'm now a history denier because the evidence is so overwhelming. There's no way a rational person could be at all in doubt. Isn't this the same exaggeration the physicists are guilty of? I mean, they have their story and they just will not tolerate any deviance.
In the same way that
Intolerant. I mean, just as intolerant as you could be. If you can defend this attack against my civil rights, what attack can't you defend? Right? I mean, if you can't even talk to these people that are in this category, how could you live next door to them, and how could you do all this other stuff? So yes, we should clearly, they're unacceptable people. So anybody who doesn't believe the story is somebody worthy of being treated as badly as the Jews were treated in Nazi Germany.
most people should in a tasteful fashion. That's what I...
Oh, yeah, it's whatever, in a tasteful fashion. So it wasn't tasteful for me to say millions of Jews died because of bigotry. Well, not tasteful enough.
think. Is that a good way of phrasing it, Creaky?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's made millions of videos attacking his financed a bunch of propaganda against the Jews, and he's trying to make Jews look stupid, and he's trying to do this, and he's trying to do that. I haven't tried to do any of that shit. Defended my own opinion. Period. Nothing else. Never even titled the video, "The Holocaust was a fake." Nothing like that, ever. Yet this label. And people, rational, reasonable people watching these videos because they love science, you love this. This has integrity to you. This is the way to argue in the world. This is the kind of shit you just love. This is just so fucking cool to watch. The great scientists win the great argument of, I'm going to pigeonhole you, slander the fuck out of you, way over exaggerate what you are, and deny you rights in the world. And you're applauding this shit.
he's basically
All initiated by a fucking troll. One psychotic fuck, okay, who just can't get over the fact that I'm better looking than he is. It's probably all it's about. Obviously, he doesn't care about Jews, right? I mean, he made reference to Superhuman Dance, right? Who Superhuman Dance has actually made videos where he, says things about the tribe. So he's the one who thinks being Jewish is some sort of genetic thing that makes you dislikable, or there's something negative about you genetically. You're a tribe member, somehow genetically tribal. So, but I am the racist. I am the evil person. When I don't believe any of that. I believe in the whole thing. Judge a man based on the content of his character, not some kind of glass of genetic pew. I don't care what your genetics are. It can't be terribly relevant. We're all born as ignorant, dumb little babies into the world. And we all can sit there and be free of worrying about what our genetics are. Our genetics are not going to be our philosophy. People are not things genetically, except maybe, tall, fat or thin. A lot of things like that can be genetic, have a genetic component. But your philosophy doesn't.
denying a historical event that
Okay, so it's an undeniable historical event. I'm just saying, like their physics, it's a little bit weakly evidence, and they won't even admit that, though. The evidence is overwhelming. No rational person can deny the evidence. It's so overwhelming. I mean, it's a fucking shower head, for fuck's sake. How the fuck can you deny the picture of the shower head? And here's a picture of Zyklon B. Little boxes of it over here. I mean, how can you deny that shower head picture of Zyklon B? Gas chamber. How can you deny it? And especially considering, the Nazis were supposed to, the SS came in and cleansed all the camps of all the evidence. And yet they lived, all those starving Jews. So, you're just saying logically, I mean, again, I don't mean to laugh, but can't anybody see the illogic of this? So you're gassing, hundreds of thousands of people are coming into the camps, getting gassed. What the fuck were all of those emaciated Jews doing still in those cabins? What were they doing there still? Why didn't they get ovened? Were they special somehow? Were they vital, important Jews? They weighed 58 pounds. They survived years, eating cardboard. And somehow the Nazis didn't figure, let's throw them in the old fucking oven too. I mean, it's just too, the logic just doesn't make any sense. Sorry, it's not a sensible theory.
But only an idiot would deny it.
Okay, so an idiot. All right, so you won't call me an idiot. You're calling me some kind of evil thing. Okay, you're saying I'm evil. I'm awful, horrible person. All right, idiots. You argue idiots all the time. You argue with idiots all the fucking time. So it's obviously has nothing to do with me being stupid not to know how impressive the evidence is. No, that's not what you're arguing. You're arguing I'm overtly evil. Fuck.
Because it affected so many people.
Right, okay, so I'm denying it affected so many people. Or what am I denying? I'm denying that all the affected people have a right to exaggerate. That's it. Okay. So I'm not being sensitive in the sense that we all know that we're all supposed to say it because it makes the survivors feel better. That's what it's for. And, maybe 100 years from now we'll start telling the truth, but, for now we have to make the survivors feel okay. Is that what it is about? Or what is this all about, frankly? I don't really get your point at all.
It did. Lots and lots of people. And there are...
Oh, there was lots of lots. Well, you told me before, pretty much that, I have to believe millions, maybe 6 million. I don't know. Do you have a number? 4 million? What's your number? Stalin gave the world the number. Stalin, the guy, everybody loves Stalin, right? I mean, gee, you just can't deny what a brilliant, reliable guy Stalin was, right? Nobody hates Stalin. So let's take his number. The number he made up. I mean, sadly, this is how it's done. Okay, this is the truth mining. We don't care the source anymore. And again, Heisenberg. He would say, no, we can't listen to his physics because he's a bad person.
Videos out there, etc. But I'm not going to make any allegations, all I did.
No, I'm not going to make any allegations, except I'm just going to make a ton of allegations. I mean, it's just, what the fuck? You made the allegation to me. The only way you could make this allegation to me mean anything is you were threatening me with some sort of, we have to cancel everything because you're evil. And then somehow you weren't going to say that. You weren't going to say, well, I had to cancel it because he's evil. Well, of course you were going to say that. What the fuck? I mean, this is just such a pile of crap.
And I think what upset him was that some of you told me what these beliefs were, and I...
Okay, so some of you... So, again, the you is one troll. So there's only one troll that engineered this whole thing, okay? A guy who, again, I have blocked 100 times. There's 100, literally, maybe 200 times, 200 fake accounts just to keep harassing me with nonsense. And it is nonsense. I mean, if you go to his channels and play his videos, you can see they're just Photoshop, music videos. I mean, it's just horse shit. There's no rational point being made.
Contacted him absolutely 100% in private to address.
So whatever that means, again, I think Baldy Catz looks kind of like a pedophile. I don't know anything about him at all, but yeah, he sort of looks like he could be. So let's force him to prove he's not. Yeah, prove you're not.
These, and what he decided was that, I don't know, that I needed to provide proof.
So again, I provided all that a rational person can provide, which is I told you explicitly what I do believe, what I am confident happened. That the Nazis got pissed off because they lost the war and they got persecuted bad for it. They got punished way too hard, and they blamed one kind of people for that punishment, and they decided that anybody who's of that ilk, okay, by genetics first and by whatever. I don't, look, the fact is you're not really allowed to be a Jew voluntarily, so you'll never be considered the real thing. So they decide to make it some sort of genetic defect. Okay, just like they thought blacks were, gorillas, and they had lots of stupid, moronic understandings of how reality works, and and then they, disenfranchised them for that fact. And so it was just racial bigotry, as I stated. I called it evil, but that's not good enough, right? So that's all that's about. Right, is that I haven't been convinced by any good evidence, in my opinion, that millions of Jews died in. I'm sure some Jews were raped after they were dead. I'm sure lots of little things happened, because people are psychotic. So I'm sure some people might have ate a Jew for lunch. But yeah, there's just no evidence that millions of them were gassed to death.
That he was what people were saying he was, which someone had emailed me and said, listen, Catz, you're due to come on my channel soon, but somebody says you've said this in the past, you've done this, can we just clarify it? I'd have just said, no, I didn't do it. Or
yeah, I did clarify it. I told you all I can tell you. You say anybody who denies your full story is a Holocaust denier. That's a catch-22. I have to believe what you believe. Right? So, and what would the lie mean to you? You said you had video evidence. So if I said, no, I'm not a Holocaust denier, then you would have said, well, what about your video where, you sort of deny the Holocaust? Isn't that what you would have done? You liar. And again, I'm not comfortable saying I'm a Holocaust denier. I don't like the fact that you've given me no choice. Right? I can't say I believe in a modified version of the Holocaust, one that's sort of based on evidence, not stories. Does that make me evil too?
No, that's not my belief. That's not the answer I got. I got a very round the houses kind of answer.
Okay, let's understand. There's nothing round any house here, okay? I have no agenda to argue Holocaust history. Now, neither have I defended any kind of anti-Semitism. So that's one thing. All right. As stated, I agree millions of innocent Jews died in evil bigotry camps. Okay. Let's see what else I said. If you can't say, so that's again him saying that to me. So I'll go back to what I did say. Deny what? You call people science deniers for any divergence from the standard model. The fact that I don't agree with every version of the detailed history, but I certainly wouldn't call myself a Holocaust denier. Do I really think Holocaust denier is some kind of standard definition, do you think? And so let's see, where did I make the statement about what I believe? Your email's offensive. Well, anyway. But yeah, there's at least two clear statements of what I do believe. Okay, what I can honestly say. As stated, I agree millions of Jews died in evil bigotry camps. That's not good enough for him. You're evil if you don't believe they died in gas chambers. That's all it's about. Even though we know some huge percentage of them clearly didn't die in a gas chamber. Clearly, they wouldn't have been alive long enough. They wouldn't have been able to tell the story, frankly. They wouldn't have survived. Clearly, some Jews weren't gassed for some reason. And we're not given the reason why they weren't. Alright, but anyway. Yeah, it's just... Again, I don't want to have this conversation. I have no desire to convince you the evidence sucks. I'm just saying from my perspective, I think the evidence is rather weak.
So, you can drop over to his channel now. He's taking it like a man, wouldn't you say, Creaky?
Okay, so what shouldn't I be? So this is the thing where somebody says in the comments, thou methinks you protest too much. I'm being disenfranchised from civil rights. I mean, rights to participate. Okay, I'm being sanctioned. I'm being ghettoed. I'm protesting too much? I'm complaining? Why? What am I complaining about? A denial? I've been ridiculed, attacked, slandered. And I shouldn't say, God, that's disgusting. I shouldn't even notice. Yeah, I'm noticing.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I'm sure there's a more.
So 1 minute it's this horrible thing, you being a Holocaust denier, and the next minute you shouldn't be bothered being accused of that. That doesn't mean anything.
Eloquent way to put it, but he certainly protested a little bit more than somebody who had nothing to hide would.
Well, again, nothing to hide. Where was I hiding anything? Where do I make any effort to hide anything? I don't make any effort to hide anything. Please, go ahead. Look, some of my videos, I wasn't in very good moods when I made them. So some of them are pretty bad. I look bad in them. That's just going to happen when you've made 10,000 videos on YouTube. You're going to have some that suck. And I didn't delete them. I didn't hide them. You know, and again, if I would have known that this was so I knew it was dangerous. I just didn't know how dangerous. Okay, even broaching the subject is that there's this much irrationality. I just didn't anticipate how stupid smart people were. So yeah, I didn't anticipate that. So I guess in hindsight, I could say yes. I guess I should just take all those videos down and pretend it never happened. But that would be fake. It did happen. And I'm not apologizing for my opinions. I'm not saying there's something wrong with my statements, because there isn't anything wrong with them. And you're insisting there is without proving that there is. Because you won't even have the conversation. You won't even engage in a conversation about how credible the evidence is. You'll just attack people and persecute them.
Have.
I think so. Now, we have, therefore we have a slot tonight. I've emailed Creaky a couple of PowerPoints. If there are any flat earthers, and I did post this on the Conspiracy Catz community tab.
Right, so they're just basically soliciting a lunatic. Are there any lunatics, retards, or any of you people on Prozac or Zuzak or Mozac so we can make fun of you? I mean, realistically, flat Earth is psychotically insane as a philosophy. You have to have all kinds of problems with how your brain works to be a flat earther. So you're either an overt liar or you're an insane dupe. And these are the people they want to make fun of. This is their agenda in life, is to prove how great they are by picking on the dumbest humans on the planet. I mean, they really are literally... You really can't get dumber without them actually stuttering or, actually have a helmet on their head because they keep banging their head against a brick wall. I mean, how could you get somebody worse than a flat earther? Maybe people living in Alabama, But I mean, other than that, where do you get these people from? Where do you get something lower? Can you find a lower form of human life to pick on? And this is what people want to see. This is what they want their intellectuals to waste their time doing. No, don't defend real physics and explain how it's all so perfectly in order and everything's great and we have such a wonderful theory and we're so fucking special to have it. The ESP particles, it's all so special. Anyway, it's just so bad. Alright, so yes, the whole video got killed by this, but that's the way it is. Sometimes it's just going to have to happen. I will try to get back to physics, more physics, less of this kind of crap. But this is the atmosphere you have to argue physics in. These people are fanatics. They are slanderers. They are loose with their rhetoric. They just don't give a shit. They have no balls, no integrity. They just talk shit about other people. And they just don't give a shit about any kind of rules. Fair fight kind of thing. Nope. You defend yourself on the small channel while we attack you on the big channels. It's just like the newspapers, right? Do the story about the judge accusing you of being a terrorist and then don't do anything about the story where the judge gets thrown off the case. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. So, fuck this shit. I do hate this planet of liars and shysters and greedy little fuckheads. It's called themselves greedy cats. Alright. Anyway, so let's read some of this, maybe get this out of the way. Your mother was a mouse. Okay, that's really clever. So that's an account that's a day old. Okay. So remove that. So whatever this is, so you're supposed to read it backwards or something. Probably the Cowboys, no doubt. I agree to disagree from that. You know, whatever that means. So yeah, the channel is called Agree to Disagree, when no, it's agree or else I'll slander you and disenfranchise you from your civil rights. That they said they look like a man, but when I came here I couldn't see no man. Yeah, well, frankly, nobody can see your balls. Okay, a day old account. Seems like you're the guy throwing rocks from behind rocks, right? You little coward. Yeah. But I saw you take it. You must be doing something not man black pill. So yeah, it can't be the cowboy because it's way too inarticulate. But yes, you're really stupid. It's a really lame remark. It doesn't mean anything. You didn't prove anything. You didn't demonstrate anything. Alright, so superior mind. Speaking of heroes and herd mentality, I kept hearing about the genius of Elon Musk. Well, then you're really stupid to fall for any of that crap. I mean, obviously you just have to see him in any conversation. You know he's not anything called a genius. His brother, you know, created the first business. You know, he's just a follow-alonger. You know, he's been damn lucky. So he says, find a job, move out of your parents' house, quit your job, and become omniscient. You know, whatever. I mean, that's not even close to being a reasonable comment. So again, these are the one-day-old accounts. You know, driving conversation. Let's see. English is very good. Your English, do you want to know there are no Americans in old America to defend their position? So he's, you know, a racist, which is funny. I will do it. The most damned nation in the Russian Empire is here. So this all doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, so we'll just get rid of this crap. I mean, it's fucking retarded. Anyway, so yeah, enough of that. Google is trying to sink the world. It's not the greatest poetry in the world. Yeah, so he's posting little shit comments here. Gary feel ashamed he has never worked for a real company. Yeah, I have. This is the so-called sour grape. I don't even understand how those two things could possibly be connected. But anyway, totally irrational, insane fucktard. Alright. Okay, so here it is. Drafts out. Those protest too much, methinks. Well, methinks you protest too little. So that sort of evens out. And you're clearly, you know, I could turn the tables and we could see how much you would protest. You know, but you don't give enough. You don't make any videos about anything except 10-second videos on shot putting. Discus throwing. Yeah. It's his passion, I guess. Yeah. So whatever. Yeah, there's nothing to say. You know, you're just wasting everybody's time. Let's see. Hide user, and yes, we'll do the same to Kevin because this is just. Again, you could say that on every video complaining about anything and just pretend there's nothing that matters. Your side is right, even when it's wrong. You just don't care about any principles at all. Yuck. Despicable. Let's see. You don't know much about conspiracies, do you? And you haven't looked much into people like Catz, have you? Why should I? You really think he's part of some military operation and he can't even get his video to work? He can't even get his audio to work. I mean, please. He is someone who wants to impress the memory of his disappointed father. I don't know. Doesn't every son, you know, want to do that? if they have a father who isn't a shithead. He is more clever than squirrel dung. Well, that's just too brilliant. So, this is what trolls do, right? And Google knows this. Google knows there's troll accounts, and this is all they do is make comments that get deleted or are banned. And they know those accounts exist, and they just don't do anything about it. All right. Yes, conspiracies. I know enough about conspiracies to know they're very hard to keep together. So if you have a conspiracy of more than 3 or 4 people, it just isn't going to work. Every famous bank robbery thing, like everything the mob did that was a big project that had more than one player in it, all of the players had to die, okay? Because they're all loose cannons. They're all information waiting, to get loose. Conspiracies are really hard unless you're all brothers or something, unless you can really trust your fellow conspirators. It just doesn't work, asshole. Okay, but you're too stupid to understand any of that. Enough of that. I don't understand how we can get this reviewed in our connected world. Yes, I should be able to. This is on the two-slit wave theory debunked. So no rational response from anybody. I've asked a physics professor on Quora, but unfortunately, Quora is just a shithole. But whatever. To have a look at this video. Not sure how likely it is that I will get any response. Yeah, well, thanks for the effort. I mean, it can't hurt to try, right? But we already see how they avoid it. So we already see I can't pay them. So again, there's a $100 offer to any PhD physicist for an hour of your time to tell us just how obvious and easy it is to understand. I'll draw a picture of it and you'll explain it. No problem. Alright. So, that's enough of that. And such. Oh, enough of a video. It's unfortunate to this, change of agenda, but clearly it's not a change in agenda I was pushing for or hoping for. Let's do this instead. No, not my idea. Yeah, save video. Okay. Yeah, I thought I saved it. It's funny that it already has its size marked. So it is over an hour. Anyway, till next time, such.